Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. On today's video, I'm going to take a whole pork belly, I'm going to split it right down the middle, and I'm going to be stuffing it with a delicious pork stuffing, and then we're going to smoke it. Stay tuned. All right, let's go over the pork stuffing recipe here. I'm going to be using 5 pounds of pork, 28 grams of salt, 22.7 grams of black pepper, 17.02 grams of paprika. Then I'm going to be using 39.72 grams of this king shallot from PS Seasoning. I'm also using 2.27 grams of oregano. This is a Mexican oregano, and 28.37 grams of dehydrated jalapenos, which you can also get from PS Seasoning. All right, so I've got a 10-pound pork shoulder here. All I'm going to do is cut this down into smaller cubes because I am going to be grinding my own pork. So once this is ground up, I'll weigh out 5 pounds, and that's what I'm going to use for this recipe. I want cubes around this size, probably 2 by 2, which is perfect for my grinder. This pork butt has a really good fat cap, and that's what you want. You want to end up with a 70-30 meat to fat ratio, which is perfect for this mixture. All right, so I've got our pork shoulder all cubed up. I just took my grinder attachment out of the freezer. And by the way, I am going to be using a brand new foot pedal that's available for this grinder. So here we go. All right, right out of the gate, I am loving this brand new foot pedal. All right, so I've got the meat ground up. I'm just gonna weigh out 5 pounds. There we go, that's right at 5 pounds. The rest of this pork, I'm gonna save it for a future recipe. All right, so I've got the 5 pounds of ground pork. I'm gonna go ahead and add the dry ingredients. Man, these jalapenos smell spicy. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of water and give this a good mix. Man, this smells so good that I'm really thinking about making some sausages using this mix. So I'm gonna let this chill in my fridge for about 30 minutes. And I'll bring you guys right back. All right, let's get our pork belly stuffed up. Now, if you notice, this is a 13-pound pork belly, but on this end right here on the fat cap side, it's a little bit mangled up. So I'm going to be taking that off and save it for a future sausage video. So right around here. Now, I'm not trimming anything off of this. In fact, this has a really good meat to fat ratio. Check that out. Really meaty pork belly. So what you want to do on this side of the pork belly is cut right in the middle and start to build your pocket. Try to stay in the middle. Just like that. And start to cut further down into the pork belly, trying obviously not to cut through the top or the bottom. I'm going to get my boning knife and get in there. All right, so at this point I'm going to grab some of our pork stuffing, about a handful at a time, just like this, and go all the way in there. Grab some more. And by the way, we did fry up a little bit of this pork stuffing, and I am definitely going to be making some sausages out of it because it is super tasty. Well, it looks like I might be able to get all of this pork stuffing into our pork belly. So far, so good. All right, so at this point, what I want to do is level out the pork stuffing inside the pork belly. That way it doesn't look like a pregnant pork belly. And doing this is also going to allow it to cook evenly. Now I have to figure out a way to stitch this end right here. And I don't know if they make a stitcher for butcher's twine, but I've got my injector needle, my largest injector needle, and I've got some butcher twine that I just passed right down the middle of it. So I'm going to see if this works. Just push it down about an inch from the edge or so. Oh, look at that, it worked. Oh. Just pull the injector needle out. That's perfect. Give it a double knot. Just like that. Cut off your excess twine. So let me show you how I got this butcher's twine through my large injector needle. Just twist it in there. Keep twisting and pushing it in. It takes a while, but it'll come out the other end. There it is. Okay, just grab a hold of this end right here. About a couple inches apart. Punch that through. Pull the thread through. And pull out your injector needle. There we have it. I did a MacGyver, if you guys know who that is. Give it a double knot here. And there you have it. I'm going to stitch up the rest of this pork belly, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got the edge of our pork belly all stitched up. Let's season this bad boy up. For this cook, I'm going to be using the brand new Yoder Smokers pork rub, which has an amazing color. Now I did punch through the bottom of the pork belly right here, but I think we're gonna be okay. So let's season this bad boy up. Look at that. Really nice flaky salt. I am loving the aroma coming from this rub. No binder since the surface is nice and wet. Okay, pat that rub down. All right, let's season the other side. And I'm gonna be smoking this pork belly on this rack right here. So I'm just gonna lay it on the top and flip it over. All right, let's season the meat side of this pork belly. Don't forget your edges. All right, I've got my Yoder YS 1500 warming up at 265 degrees. We'll see you guys outside. All right, so I've got my Yoder YS 1500 running at 265 degrees. Let's load up our pork belly. Check out this absolutely savage color on our pork belly. That's coming from the brand new Yoder Smokers pork rub. So right smack in the middle. Okay, so I'm gonna let the smoker run at 265 for 2 hours. Then I'll come outside and crank it up to 275 degrees. By the way, I am using Jealous Devil pellets, which has cherry wood, which is going to intensify that red color on our pork belly. We'll see you guys in a bit. Let's check on our pork belly. It's been on for 2 hours at 265 degrees, and I just cranked my smoker up to 275 degrees. All right, that color, first of all, is looking amazing. It's really nice and soft in the center right here of this pork belly. So I'm going to put my probe right here, right in the middle. Let's get an internal temperature there. All right, so the Yoder controller is saying we're at 108 degrees, right smack in the middle. All right, so I'm looking for a final internal temperature of 150 degrees. As far as the outside of the pork belly, 185 to 190 is going to be the temperature that I'm looking for on that. So I'm going to slide this shelf back in. We'll see you guys back in a couple of hours. Stay tuned. All right, so 4 hours and 15 minutes later, and the stuffed pork belly is ready. Remember, we did 265 for 2 hours and 275 for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And check out this gorgeous looking color. So the pork belly got really nice and puffy when it was cooking, and once I pulled the probe out, it's almost like it had a trapped air pocket. It actually went down a little bit, but as you can see, we have a really nice belly on this pork belly. All right, let's slice right down the middle of our pork belly and see what we got. I'm excited. Oh, look at that. Super juicy. Look at all that juice just coming out of there. Man, this looks fantastic. Man, this is a beautiful sight with that sausage stuffing right in that center of that pork belly. Just gonna grab myself a nice little wedge here. That looks absolutely beautiful. So down here on the bottom of the slice right here is where our fat cap was, and you can tell it rendered down to almost nothing, which is fantastic. So I'm just gonna move these two aside. And like my buddy Rye from Cooking with Rye says, we have a juice-a-lanch on this cutting board. So I'm gonna get myself a couple of slices here. This is super tender. All right, let's give this a try and see how we did. All right, let's give this stuffed pork belly a try and see how we did. But check that out. Got the top of the pork belly and some of that sausage mixture. Here we go. That is so darn good. So I'm getting a little bit of heat from the jalapenos inside that sausage, but also from the rub that we used on the surface of this pork belly. This is delicious. So I'm going to try a piece of the pork belly by itself, but look at that amazing color from this Yoder Smokers pork rub. There we go. I got to tell you guys, this rub right here is so darn good. I cannot wait to try this on some smoked spare ribs. It's going to be fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed this savage stuffed pork belly video. If this is your first time to my channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Spit Barbecue. See ya. So good.